Hey, Dr. Robinson, I'm about to briefly about the evolution of obscenity and indecency. Obscenity came on as 1868 in England with the Hickling test. The Hickling test gave way to the world by saying we consider obscenity, even if it's a portion, to be obscene. And they burnt a lot of books because sexual content was in books, and so because they wanted to protect the minds of the youth. In 1957, with the Roth test, a guy that had explicit content in them, and that was considered to be obscene. And so we get the second evolution from obscenity in this case with Roth versus the U.S. With Roth versus the U.S., it became more specific from the Hickling test what exactly is obscenity and who considers to be obscene. So these questions was answered in that particular case with Roth versus U.S. in 1957. Who what is considered to be obscene? Well, the whole work is considered to be obscene if it no portion of the book can just be pointed out, like in the Hickling test. Um, the community determines what is obscene, or the courts consider to what is to be obscene, and does it have any social value is what the Roth test asks. Social value wasn't very clear. So later on came the Miller test in the Miller versus California 3, and that kind of gave way of the special considered to be social value. Well, social value is explained in the LAPS test. The LAPS test is literary, artistic, political, scientific, educational, educational uh, importance for the test. And so, if it's considered to be to have those components is not considered to be obscene. And so obscenity is not protected by the First Amendment like indecency is. And indecency is a low rate of a low grade of it's a low grade of sexual content, and but it's considered to have a value to it. It gives education to whatever it is expressing, and so the content is being able to be shown on the television, or is able to be said on the radio. A famous case with indecency is the FCC, excuse me, versus Pacifica, and that was on the radio when a comedian, a satire comedian named George Carlin, was talking about the seven filthy words. How a lot of comedians or a lot of people that are in the political that's in a political that's a figure, a celebrity figure, or somebody, whoever is on the radio or on television saying these words, these filthy words, and it's considered to be indecent. And so that was a famous case that kind of set the standard of it's okay to say that, but when do you say it? Because the guy who filed the complaint to the FCC was riding in the car with his son, and he said, "Yo, I agree with what you're saying, but can you say this at a time where I'm not riding with my son?" So that came to the notion of the safe harbor, and the safe harbor is basically a time in the day between 10 and 6 when uh, kids shouldn't be out looking or shouldn't be out of school, or what seemed to be a normal day for kids to be in school, that they're not watching this type of info, the listening to this, or watching certain shows wherein it's okay for adults to watch. So that came on scene, and from the FCC versus Pacifica during that time. And so the difference really is who is affecting it's affecting kids, and who's considered to be indecent and obscene. We are. So we kind of set that bar. The Miller test is still used to this day to set the record straight of what's considered to be obscene and what's indecent. And I learned this in media law.